Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Kiki Sparkles.
Hello.
And I think now we know why the director of The Flash let loose some of the cameos and the secrets, the big spoilers for the movie when he did. We're not going to talk about what those are, but there was a big spoiler leaked. Probably to try to get butts in seats because it looks like The Flash is not tracking very well.
No.
This is weird because we just did a video the other day and they said, yeah, this thing's going to do 120, 140 million. Now they're like, nah, it's only going to do like 70.
They sliced it in half. Now, granted, it's not for like weeks yet, like what, 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
So things could change. But at this point, they went from 140 to slashing it to 70.
And how much did they spend in advertising on this movie?
I don't know. They're gonna
Super
spend a
Bowl
lot.
ad, non-stop ads. I see ads for this movie multiple times per day. YouTube, television, it's all over the place. So not only did they drop like $200-300 million on the movie itself, but now, you know, they probably got another $300-400 million in advertising.
No, it's like Little Mermaid. They have so much money tied up in the advertising.
Yeah, so this is not going to go very well. I don't think it's going to go very well, regardless of how the movie actually is. I do know people that have seen it. They said it's actually not bad if you can choke past Ezra Miller. You know, just
Ha ha ha. He chokes a little. Yeah.
Anyway, so I have to wonder if people are boycotting it because of him, or they just don't care about the DCEU at this point.
I think it's a combination of two, but I think the second one is more to do with it than the first one because a lot of people don't even know about Ezra Miller's fiascos, or they don't. A lot of people just won't care. They'll go anyway. But the second one is where I think it's mostly at. Is people just are over, and then what difference does it make because it's going to reboot it supposedly, but after this, everything's different anyway. And I think it's like the MCU, where after they got past Endgame, they lost a lot of people because they're just like, yeah, I'm over it. Let's go on to something else. And I think that's what's going to happen here because they know it's over. Superhero
fatigue. Well, they're talking about that. They're talking about the headwinds. The headwinds, macroeconomic headwinds.
I think people are over it.
They're over it. They're definitely over Ezra Miller. We're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do. Yeah, so I was surprised. Again, we did a video yesterday, a day before, talking about the director spoiling a big cameo, which I will not spoil here. But
you spoiled it in the other video.
Go watch the other video.
We gave warning.
We did give a warning. But that kind of smacked of desperation. Like, why would you spoil that unless you thought it would bring people to the theater?
And especially since one of our people did go see the movie, and they didn't tell us what the spoiler was, but they told us that it was somebody that would be coming in, and that they were told repeatedly not to say anything about.
Yeah, and our reviewer was very angry because it was like, wait a second. They read us the riot act, told us we couldn't spoil this. And then the director turns around and spoils it 2 weeks before the movie comes out. Yeah,
because they wanted to try to up the box office. They probably saw that it wasn't tracking well.
Right.
They were trying to fix it.
So let's see here. It's coming from Comic Book Movie. They said it pointed to a massive 115 million to 140 million opening. Yeah, that was early tracking. While it was more of an early guesstimate than actual tracking data, it appears Warner Brothers' aggressive marketing campaign for the best superhero movie ever made, trademark, had paid off. Well, the movie has actually hit tracking boards today, and it's currently targeting at a soft 70 million opening.
Yeah, that's not good.
And that's basically where Black Adam and not even Shazam 2 was at. People just don't care. There's still a few weeks left to turn things around, but this is a debut in the same range as Black Adam.
Well, the thing is, too, though, if it's good, and people hear, like, I think a lot of people were waiting because they wanted to see Michael Keaton Batman, but they're like, I don't want to go because of Miller. They could be waiting to see if it's any good because let's be honest, a lot of the DCU movies have sucked.
Yeah.
And they're waiting to hear. So if it's good, it might do well. I mean, it might take a while, but it might do a lot better than they expect. Like, it's not going to do like $1 billion, I don't think, but it could. It'll do better if it's good. If it's not good, well, then they're done just effed. I don't want to tell you.
Well, so Aquaman opened with 67 million, ultimately grossed over $1 billion.
That's what I'm talking about.
But it was during the holiday, it was pre-COVID, and it actually had good word of mouth too.
That's what I'm saying. If it had good word of mouth, though, it might pick up.
So it said, what has gone wrong with The Flash? The movie has received nothing but positive social media reviews.
I'm sure that was costly.
Yep. Since early screenings began in April, and everyone from James Gunn to Tom Cruise has given it a thumbs up. Ezra Miller remains a problem, sure, though their antics seem to have gone largely unnoticed by casual
I think
filmgoers.
normies, a lot of them don't know about it.
That's true. Instead, the DC brand as a whole appears tarnished after a series of seemingly endless critical and commercial disappointments.
That's what I think it is.
Not helping matters is the fact that fans know a reboot is on the way.
Yes, you don't even read this article. See?
Yep. And while The Flash once set the stage for new DCEU, it's now largely meaningless for what the DCU has in store for us. Well, Aquaman's not going to do that well either, I don't think. I forget Aquaman's still a thing.
I forgot it too. And then I don't think that people are really into the Supergirl thing either. I just don't think they are because they made her look like they did not look like Supergirl.
No. I mean, she's based on an Elseworlds version of Supergirl from the comics, but like people are like, hey, if you're gonna put Supergirl, we want miniskirt, blonde hair. Better yet, just freaking bring some of the CW characters in.
No, what it sounds like, everything about her when you described it was like, what is she known for? Let's do the opposite.
Dark hair. Yeah, we can't give her a miniskirt.
Fake abs on her suit.
Fake abs.
Because everything
that's haircut.
Right, everything that she's known for. Let's do the opposite. That's exactly how she comes across, and it's probably not going to go well.
Yeah, and I think people are just done. I don't think, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't have a lot of hope for James Gunn's reboot of the DCU. I mean, his track record, he's good with Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't see him doing a Superman movie, personally. I think his sense of humor is going to get in the way.
That's the thing about the DC characters. They were a lot more serious.
Yeah.
I always thought then, like the Marvel characters, DC characters were more known for being serious, like I Am the Night and all that. When I was younger, I used to sell PlayStations and N64s. And when I would tell parents, I asked the age of their
in stores, not at the back of a van or anything. Yeah.
And I'd ask the parents, well, how old is your kid? Because that would determine and like what games your kid like to play, but which one you'd go with. Because the PlayStation was obviously for older kids and more adults. With the N64, I mean, there's exceptions, but mostly I'd recommend this for kids. That's what it kind of reminds me of, like Marvel, except for the last Guardians film. I would always that would be more of like a funny family type film, where DC was always more like a grittier, darker type of thing. And not saying that isn't the movies, but that's what it reminds me of. I just don't think James Gunn is grittier, darker. He's more of a ha ha ha.
Yeah, and Superman especially is a character that is not humorous. I mean, there's a little humor there, but like I think the difference is, DC characters tend to treat their characters as iconic as gods. They play it straight for the most part. Marvel has always been like, okay, let's knock these superheroes down a peg and focus on their real lives a little bit more. They're more relatable.
That's not saying that Gunn can't do bloody, gory stuff. He can, obviously. I'm not talking about that. I'm not, you can be serious and not be like, oh, look, someone's getting their head blown off. There's a difference, but
Looking at you, Zod.
Anyway,
well, and the thing too is Gunn hasn't had a lot of success with the DC in the theater anyway. He did the Suicide Squad, which I actually liked, but that was the same thing. The Suicide Squad was good, but because of the damage done by the first movie and the other DC movies, nobody went to go see it. Now, when people saw it, they loved it, and they did the Peacemaker series, which I also loved.
Right, which is more, like I said, he does the gory part, no problem. But
yeah, that's his, but that character, those characters, they fit his sense of humor. Superman is an iconic, almost Christ-like character. Like, you can't drag him.
To say that.
Well, no, that's kind of, he is. He's like the, he's kind of above everything, and you can't. But then we've seen what DC has done with him lately, and they had him like being sodomized by the Russians and junk.
Oh my God, yeah, I forgot about that.
And it's like, but he was always like the good guy character. He was always the best of us, and he shouldn't be funny, haha. That was never Superman. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing.
Is he in a kryptonite joke? I don't know how they got that thing up his ass.
I think they did.
I'm sorry. Anyway, back to let's talk about Elemental.
Let's talk about Elemental. Disney's going to take it from behind, I think, with Elemental. They're bringing this one.
It's always a bad thing, but in this case, it is.
Boy, what?
Sorry.
So we are talking about Disney, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about a Disney movie. We're talking about another Pixar movie that looks like it probably should have just been dumped on Disney Plus, but they're going to try to release it in the theaters, try to make some money, and they're marketing it just about as well as they marketed Strange Worlds.
And they're going against each other.
Yeah, and I don't think it's gonna go well. Is that
I keep
a
forgetting
fart?
that. I was wondering that too. I keep forgetting they're going against each other. Yes,
You get a W for farting.
it's a wet fart.
Wet. Is that what that shirt means?
I don't know. I was kidding.
Wet fart.
I was kidding.
All right. So they're saying that best case scenario that Elemental is going to do 40 million. Is that right?
That's better than they thought.
They thought it was going to do 28.
I mean, it's still not great, but it's better than they thought.
Yeah, it said Elemental is going to join The Good Dinosaur and Onward and being one of the few Pixar movies to open to less than 50 million. And there were plenty of negative headlines. Ratatouille opened to 47 million before transforming it into a box office sensation. That was another one that had legs, though. People saw it, they liked it, they went back to see it again and again. That's the thing with Pixar movies is they count on you going back to the theater again and again.
I don't remember Ratatouille doing very well. I don't remember that.
It was kind of a soft, but I mean, it did well enough to get a ride. I mean, you don't see a Good Dinosaur
ride. That's because they made the ride when they were building the. They did it over there because it was relevant over there.
French,
and it took place in France, and the ride is okay.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, we did a video about that too. That's a whole nother issue. But yeah, they said Lightyear bombed, and Lightyear of any of these movies should have been a massive hit if they had done proper Buzz Lightyear with Tim Allen, and it was a fun movie. I think it would have. They'd
done Star Command.
Yeah, if they'd done Star Command, it would have been awesome. Since Onward, excluding re-releases. Basically everything Pixar has been dumped direct to video, and Onward still is looking like it might do better than Elemental, and it was released like a week before the lockdowns.
Yeah, and then it was put on Disney Plus.
So this is not good. I don't know. Disney definitely. So there's something going on with them in terms of marketing. They're not really marketing things very well. And
not with Elemental. They put all their money into Little Mermaid.
Yes. And people have to factor that into the box office take. So the thing is that people are like, okay, is Disney running out of money for marketing? Like they're trying to tighten their belt, but are they running out of money?
I don't know. For marketing? We saw this with Shang-Chi and the Eternals. They kind of shafted the one and put all their money into the other one, and then Shang-Chi still did way better than the Eternals did. Now, it would be ironic. I don't think that's going to be the case, but it'd be funny as heck if they put all their money into Little Mermaid, then Elemental does better. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm just saying I would find it funny.
It just looks so bland. It's like what's the blandest Pixar?
She's literally fire.
I mean, this is like
it's not fire and water.
15 years ago, it might have been like, wow, that's a groundbreaking, idea. But like now it's just like, oh, a fire girl and a water guy, and they can't be together because, fire. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can be together.
You can.
Me. It works.
It gets steamy. It gets a little hot sometimes, sultry, moist.
Stop.
But he's just a wet fart. Sometimes I am too.
Stop talking.
Yeah, we need to stop. Anyway, look, I don't think either one of these movies are going to do that great. I actually thought The Flash was going to do a lot better than that, but you actually
it's going to be interesting to see where it goes.
You actually said yesterday that you thought that it would be about the same as Black Adam and Shazam.
Did I? I don't remember.
Yeah, you're like, would it be weird if it only did as
I just
well
thought people were tired of it. That's what I'm thinking of. I mean, they were saying it was doing pretty well, and I was surprised it was tracking for that high. But it's, I thought, well, they have Michael Keaton, and they announced the surprise ending thing, which I thought was, made me want to go see it. But I'm also like, people are just, I don't even think it's Miller. I think they're just over this stuff, and they know it doesn't matter because Gunn's going to reboot it anyway, so it doesn't really matter, so why bother?
Yeah, pretty much. And you have
Aquaman's going to do really bad, I think.
Aquaman's going to do, I don't think Aquaman's going to do
I think
good.
Flash will do better than Aquaman too, and that's saying something.
Yeah, because at this point it's just like, why bother? And then the Amber Heard crap, and no pun intended.
See, she's the wet fart.
She's the wet fart there, and just like, it's just over. Like, I think everybody's like, okay, this one's done. This one's dead. Marvel's next, and we're completely over the superhero thing. Because we've had a lot of really shitty superhero movies. I remember.
Wet fart.
I mean, geez, I remember when I was a kid, it was like, man, it was like you got a superhero movie like every 10 years. Now there's like 10 in 1 year, and everybody's
I know,
like,
it's insane.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye. Sorry, I yelled loudly.
That's okay. I got the limiter on.
Okay. So
You can tell
my setting.
Yeah, you can
Wait,
tell.
really? It automatically limits it when I yell?
It does. When the pitch gets too high, it does. Sometimes if you sound like all robotic, it's because it's bringing the decibels down.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.